but we will go ahead and get started. And I want to turn it over now to Mike Cameron. And Mike, we can see your screen, but we can't hear you.
I guess I could unmute, right?
Now we can hear you.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Okay, well, welcome everybody, and another month to report on. So I'm just going to go quickly through some financial slides, or some sales slides first of all, rather. And this is our airline ticket booking since the beginning of the pandemic. So this starts on April 5th, 2020, and goes through last week and the week before, actually. So it goes up through to a week ago, and nice steady increase. And as you can see, it started increasing a little bit faster in 2021, which is good news. That's the airline ticketing. This is the actual dollar sales during that same period of time, and we've got the same story. Kind of a steady, slow increase in 2020. We dropped down in the holidays, which we always do. Thanksgiving's there, Christmas is there. This is some sort of a glitch with connecting the 2 years together with the software program, but we actually didn't have a week with no sales there, but that's Christmas and New Year's there. And then it started going up slowly, and then it started going up a little bit faster in the last 4 weeks or so. That goes right through the 17th of April. We don't have last week finalized yet, but I've been looking at some preliminary numbers, and it looks like it's down just a little bit from last week, but maybe closer to somewhere between 2 and 3 weeks ago it was, but still looking good. This chart here is Andavo only. So the previous two charts were our entire company, of which Andavo sales are part of. This is Andavo only, and this is an interesting chart because it's a rolling 30-day chart. So this actually includes, this went through yesterday, the previous 30 days through yesterday, compared it to the previous 30 days before that and the previous 30 days before that. And it's actually a really good number. If you look at going from 1.9 million to 2.8 million, it's a solid 50% increase. It's like 47 something percent or something, but it rounds pretty closely to 50%. And that's the Andavo only. As a company, I ran the same chart for the last 90 rolling days to compare the progress. And as a company, we went up about 25% from 2 months ago until the last 30 days. And of course, Andavo's numbers are part of that 25%, which means all of the other divisions didn't grow quite as fast. And Andavo is definitely the fastest growing division within our company of the four brands. The next slide is, so good kudos to all of you and for all being part of that, and that's very exciting. Obviously still down quite a bit from where we were a year ago, or 14 months ago, I should say, but still impressive increases. This is the ARC stats for that sort of same period, the last 60 days actually. And the same story. The top line is Priceline and Expedia. Middle line would be leisure-only travel agencies, of which you would be part of, the Andavo group would be part of. And then the bottom line is corporate. So the good news is even corporate is finally starting to get some upwards tilt. It's just been at a flat dead, sort of down 85% for most of last year and even into the first part of this year. And even there on February 14th, we're still down 85% as an industry, all of the corporate travel agencies. And then it jumped from 85 to 70 down 77.7 as of last week. I don't have, this is from 2 weeks ago. I don't have the week that's just ended, but that's good to see that finally starting to tilt up, and the leisure's tilting up a little faster. So with that in mind, the next question is, what kind of shape we're in as a company. We're still in great shape. We still have. We always keep a rolling 12 months of liquidity to make sure that we've got a plan in place that will cover us for a rolling 12 months. And the current plan that we've forecasted out goes through the end of March of 2022, and it shows that we're in good condition to continue to weather through this. So good news there. I wanted to now just talk a little bit about the future and what some of the pundits are saying about the future. And this next slide, I have the privilege of serving on the Salt Lake City Airport Advisory Board. It's a new thing they asked me to do a couple of months ago and maybe 3 months ago. And I thought it would be interesting. I don't really need another thing to do, but they meet quarterly, and I thought if nothing else, it would give me some insight into, their research into the industry. So these are some slides from our advisory board meeting. The next two slides from our advisory board meeting about 10 days ago, I think, 10 or 12 days ago. And this is what they're projecting is going to happen for the rest of the year. And of course, no surprise, COVID-19 cases will decrease rather. But what they're saying the same thing that we're just seeing within our own business, and that is that the majority of traffic is leisure, with business and international traffic resuming slowly. They told us that Salt Lake City is actually the number one airport in the country right now in terms of returning to travel, people returning to travel. And I think a lot of that is inbound traffic, people that are coming here to ski and do things here. They said that their average load factor for the airlines that are coming to Salt Lake City is 60% for April. But I want to show you this next phase. They're very hopeful with the vaccine distribution going out that things are going to improve pretty dramatically. And this next slide shows that. If you look, this is the bottom of the pandemic, or the beginning of the pandemic, I should say, the bottom of the worst point in time for travel back in April. And it popped back a little bit, pretty quickly. And then it just went dead flat for, July, August, September, October, November, and even into January. And then something when the vaccines started to happen in December and January, something sort of magical started to happen. And this chart shows it. And the three lines to the right are their forecast lines. The one at the bottom is the worst case scenario that they think will happen in the next, for the remainder of the year, the next 9 months. The one at the top is the best case scenario. This is only for Salt Lake City, but I think it's at least some kind of an indication of what people are, around the country are seeing in terms of travel behavior. They have kind of an interesting little lull here in April, which is where we're at right now, actually going down just a little bit. And then they are projecting just a skyrocket from the end of April through the middle of August. Now, this trend is not unusual for travel to go up in the summer. It's the busy leisure season when people are on vacation traveling, but it's a little bit not quite in line with the trends we normally see because of our 90% business travel focus. We don't have as many business travelers. It's not a peak thing. Matter of fact, July is one of our two slowest months of the year. But in any regard, they're predicting that their load factors are going to go to exceed by midsummer. They're forecasting that they are going to exceed where they were at in March of last year, which is pretty impressive. I wanted to just show you one other thing. This is just Delta's view on what they're seeing, and they're saying the same thing. Everybody's saying the same thing, that corporate demand is going up, crawling back, but they also are seeing acceleration after summer. So that big chart here was actually during the summer, but they're talking specifically about business travel here, going up after summer. Same thing. Everything I'm hearing from Delta is that, as vaccinations become, or the last sentence here is vaccinations become even more widespread, that, travel will increase. I wanted to just shift for a minute and just, so that kind of is what some of the pundits are saying is going to happen in the near term. I want to shift for just a minute and just do a quick overview on our, sort of our company. And we're really trying to sort of forget about the past. We know we made it through the pandemic. We know that even though it's not done yet, we know we're confident that we will survive. That was never really a question in my mind, but we know now that with the trajectory that we're on and the liquidity that we have, that we'll be fine. And so we're starting to think more about the future, and this particular these strategies pertain to all four of our brands, and we're really we're really our mission's always been to connect people and places. Our values are always to create value people. That's more of an internal focusing one, and then create value is more of an external focusing value. And of course, how are we going to do that? We're going to sort of reinvent or redefine human and digital travel management. And I want to show you this next slide and not dwell on it, but just show you that it's real. These are our Q2 objectives for the entire organization. Every department, every brand, we've got Andavo, AMI, CV Humanitarian, the corporate divisions of the company, and the Christofferson operations, and so forth. Product IT, product and strategy, or software and IT product and strategy. I'm not going to dwell on this, but we've got really specific, well-defined, well-synchronized objectives for our entire company to sort of reinvent ourselves. And we're tracking these, and we're on top of it with some real things. And I'm going to show you, some things that we're actually doing to show you that it's really happening, and not go into a lot of detail on that. But we are, the Andavo travel one is a digital objective, and we are really focusing on this RevelX booking platform. And I know that Kirsten and Meredith and Josh are working hard on this, and they're in lots and lots of meetings getting this rolled out for all of you, and particularly the non-GDS ICs. It will be even more powerful for. But although I think it's going to have some advantages to everyone with tours and cruises and other things that you'll be able to use it for. The next slide I wanted to show you is a new rebranding that we did for Christofferson, and you may have already seen this or heard about it, but we came up with a brand new logo for Christofferson Business Travel. And really, what I was really, the visual part of seeing this is that Christofferson was the only brand that didn't have an icon. So AMI had a nice icon. Andavo Travel has always had a nice icon. CV Humanitarian has always had a nice icon. And we brought in some experts at rebranding and logos and icon creation. And we created a whole new logo for Christofferson that would fit better with the with the other brands that are in our family, and of course, especially the Andavo brand, which you're all part of. Just give you kind of a quick heads up on that. And then I wanted to show you on the digital reinvention, we're actually knee deep into the development of a traveler app. This is something that's been you've probably heard us talking about it. And this particular mock-up has the Christofferson logo. Of course, it will be available for all of the brands, all four brands, with the appropriate logo, that applies to that particular brand. We'll have four versions of this for the four brands, and that we'll be developing. And I'll just go through just quickly to show you that we're actually developing a traveler app. So this is the flight screen. This is the hotel screen. This is the car screen. This is the alert screen, and it's actually happening, and it's real, and we've got people working on it. So just wanted to show you that, and with that, go back to the group and ask if there's any questions that anybody has about how we're surviving this thing and where we're going, where we're at, where we're going, and how we're going to get there.
I have a question as far as, flights and seeing a lift. And do you think it's because what I'm finding, and maybe this is going to go back, but so many airlines have canceled nonstop flights, and they're using airports like Delta's using Salt Lake more as a hub. So are they seeing more foot traffic through Salt Lake because there are more connecting flights and fewer options to avoid it?
Well, that's a really interesting question. I haven't heard anybody talk about that. So the truth is, I can't answer that question.
Oh, yeah.
But I know that yeah, that's a very good question. But these are real people flying through Salt Lake City. So they're real people on real
Right,
flights. Whether or not there's
right.
more connecting traffic. They attributed a lot of it to O&D out of Salt Lake City. They're saying they attribute it in terms of Salt Lake City. They said two things are happening. One is it's been a prime domestic destination
Right.
for people who want to ski or get away in terms of
Right.
going to, somewhere where you can be in the outdoors. So that's the inbound. And then the second thing is that Salt Lake City's economy right now is the number one in the country in terms of the fastest growing, with the lowest unemployment and the fastest recovering.
Right.
It's actually number one in the country. So there's a lot of outbound traffic related to that, and the strength of the economy, and a lot of inbound traffic related to the.
But when they were doing those numbers, were people ending up in Salt Lake? I mean, I'm presuming they're looking at numbers that was their end destination.
That's what they are saying. Yes.
Oh, well, then that
That's
makes
what they're saying.
sense. But I mean, like, it's shocking to me. You look at United's schedule to Boston, and for the whole month of May, they have no more nonstops. And I just can't figure out what these airlines are doing now that people are traveling again. It's a nightmare trying to find seats.
Well, with regards to
So,
Delta, they next week are going to increase their seats by 33%.
yeah.
Because they're opening up the middle seats for
Oh,
the
is that what they're doing? They're not
first.
increasing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, May 1st,
Yeah.
they're even if they just fly the same planes,
Right.
they are.
They won't be blocking the center
By the
city.
way, one of the things they and this does partially answer your question. One of the things they told us is that the TSA lines are long in Salt Lake City, and they told the advisory board that is because, and that speaks to people that are flying in and out of Salt Lake City that have to go through TSA both directions, or that have to go through TSA to get into the airport rather. And they said the lines are so long from people that are in Salt Lake getting through TSA. They're trying to hire people. TSA is trying to hire people as fast as they can, and they can't get people hired and trained fast enough to shorten the lines. And so the lines are. My son and 29 of his best friends, 29 of his closest friends went on a golf trip last week, and
Yeah.
they left at like 11:30 at night and said that the line was like 30 minutes long at 11:30 at night.
But is that because they let so many people go? I mean,
Correct.
I can't. Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, they downsized back last year, and now they can't hire people back. And I guess the
Mm,
people that left got other jobs or something. I don't know.
yeah.
But
Going to be interesting summer.
yeah, it does. It does. It's crazy to think about the summer being that busy. Okay, let's see more questions here.
Will the app work with only GDS bookings, or will it take into account the client-based reservations? It's kind of a
That
combination of
is a
questions.
really good question that we'll have to get an answer for. That's a really good question. I would assume it would have all bookings, but I don't. But that's a really good question. Um, we'll find out. Thank you for travel for Revlex. I'm very excited about that as well. Um, yeah, the Utah National Parks, or the other draw here. So yeah, thank you, Colette. People are coming in for northern Utah for the ski resorts and southern Utah for the national parks. David Eisen, the traffic to the liberal states are a lot less because their economies is substantially emptied out. So demand hasn't recovered out of the Northeast markets. There was also a ton of migration from people to the Northeast to other markets. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. In other words, what you're saying, David, is it's not very hard for us to do good, to do well, because measured against all of the other states that are doing bad. The big states on the two coasts are doing so badly that everybody's that's migrated to Utah has now got a job. Yeah, I don't know. I won't make any political commentary on that, but I think your insight's interesting. I found out that if you make political commentary on anything, you're guaranteed to make 50% of the audience angry. So you're not going to get any political commentary from me. But the economy in Utah is very strong. Okay, so I have to tell you something, David. When I'll give you some interesting trivia from an old guy. Um, when my children, first started, texting, years ago, and they invited my wife and I into their text chains. I started to, if I said something serious, I would sometimes end it with LOL to make sure they knew that even though I was saying something serious, that I still had lots of love for them. And my and my kid said, "What are you doing, Dad? You say something serious and then you laugh out loud." I said, "Oh, I thought that was lots of love. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll quit doing that."
Hey, what can I say?
Anyway, I do know what that means now. Although my grandchildren have told me some new ones that I hadn't heard of, which some of them I can't repeat. Some new acronyms that they're hearing and seeing. Any other questions? I mean, it's still. By the way, we are now doing about, as a company, we're now doing about 30% of what we were doing a year ago, or 14 months ago, 2019. And we were stuck at about 20% for most of last year. And just in the last 60 days, it's moved from 20% to 30%. You guys are doing better than that. You're lifting our because you're doing better than 30%, you're lifting the overall company percentage to 30%. My guess is that, what do you think, Kirsten? 35, maybe even a little more than
I
that?
think we're a little closer to 40.
Yeah. You guys are running 35 to 40% of where you were a year ago. The other brands are running, more, under 30. And as a company, we're averaging 30, which is promising. Our forecast says that we'll get to 50% by the end of the year. And that's not really like some insightful forecast. That's just a model that we use to make sure we have enough money to run the company. And that's what we're based on. And by going from 20 to 30 in a 60-day period, 50% looks very realistic. I think 50% is very realistic, and I hope I'm surprised and we're doing better than that.
April is looking to be very good. We're just about equal right now where we are in April to where we were in March. And we still have a week left of sales to be reported.
A
So,
full week, yeah, that's great.
yeah.
That's fantastic. That's like another, what, 30 some odd percent increase over the previous month. So
Mhm.
you guys are killing it. And,
Yeah, good news with Europe saying that they'll be ready to open up and looking at May for vaccine travelers. So,
yeah, that was pretty encouraging. Thank you. I thank you for mentioning that. That was very encouraging. I'm not sure how they're going to measure that, or validate it, but um, it sounds great. I'm ready to travel. I know that. I'm going to start traveling. I'm tired of I'm tired of the pandemic. I'm going to declare my personal pandemic over and go start traveling. Okay, so Diana's saying, since I invoiced through the GDS, I've not invoiced a lot of things for 2022 and 2023. Really? You're not invoicing things yet because they're so far out. Wow, that's exciting to hear that.
yeah, and that's the case for a lot of our GDS advisors. The GDS has a date limitation
Oh, it's
on
that 11-month
invoicing
thing?
tours and cruises. Yeah,
Is it 11 months?
it's 11 months. Yeah.
Oh, so what do you have to do? Just keep track of it manually?
Keep track of it and then come back in when you're within that time frame and be able to invoice it.
And then Jay says she's not invoicing it for that same reason, but also because things are changing
That
so
far out.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
thank you all. I think it sounds like that's most of the questions for me. Oh, and Jay only invoices them in the month they travel. Wow. So that means that you've even got more of their booking. Of course, the reality is if it's for 2022 and 2023, we're not going to see the revenue on it for a long time anyway. So it's probably
Right.
okay. Um, well, thank you all. And I'm grateful that we have a leisure travel division that's killing it, that's helping our whole overall numbers look good and look optimistic. So thank you for being part of that. And I'll sign off and let you finish your meeting.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the update.
You bet.
Okay, so I do want to give you guys an update on where we are with Revelex. We have completed testing with our hotel programs. We're seeing the content coming in as far as the rates. What we're not seeing just yet is the amenities that are associated with the program. So we're working with Revelex programmers to get that added in. But you will be able to see, or the testing is confirmed now, that you can see the Virtuoso rate code, the stars or the preferred partner rate codes. So that is great news. We've had great testings that have been completed, and things are making it through our automation all the way from the booking to the ticketing to the invoice itinerary copy getting sent either to you or directly to your client, depending on how you have the email set up. So that is all great news. We're excited about that. So I will be starting to schedule some Revelex trainings. Sorry, my phone is ringing. I will start scheduling some Revelex trainings for in the month of May, and we will get those done. A couple of different trainings for those that you want to we'll target those that do not have a GDS. And then after we get through those trainings, we'll start having some sessions for people that do have GDS that may want to opt to go into Revelex versus booking through WorldSpan. So more to come on that. Meredith, do you have any updates on vendor webinars to give?
Yes, we do have several coming up. This Thursday is the one that I'm doing for everyone on the Virtuoso Cruise tool. So hopefully everyone will join that books cruises, because I think it's very beneficial, and hopefully ships are looking to be back in the water in the near future. So we're ready for that. So that's this Thursday at 1 p.m. Central Time. And then next week, let's see, we have a couple next week.
On the 12th, we have the Mauna Lani.
Yeah, Mauna Lani Auberge.
That's not till
there
the
is one
12th.
next week, the week prior, and I'm sorry, I'm not seeing that I put it on my calendar. So I'll send out an update of that. We've got several too that are pending. All of a sudden, everybody wants to do a webinar. So we've got several pending that, so we'll have a busy webinar schedule coming up. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
And I do want to just take a quick moment, because I see that they're on this call. I want to welcome back Nick and Brandon. They are back with us, and we're very, very happy to have them return home. So wanted to just let you guys all know that they are back and will be joining us on our calls and be involved with everything. So welcome back, guys. Did anybody else have any comments or questions or anything that you wanted to jump in and talk about?
I have a question.
Okay,
you know, with all the airlines, the cruise lines now saying they've been given the green light and yada, yada, yada. They're trying to get boats back in the water. What about, so many have canceled things through September, October. Does anybody have any feeling if they're going to add new ships and new destinations, or if they've canceled through September, October, are they done? Or, I'm so confused.
Yeah, my sense is that if they've canceled it through September, October, they are not going to be able to reinstate them. What I have heard from cruise lines is it takes them a good 90 days to get a cruise ship staffed and the itinerary then approved through all the different ports. So if it's been
Right.
canceled, it is a big thing for them to be able to get it back reinstated.
But I guess what I'm saying is if they have those boats, say like for instance, all of my things on the new the new ocean liner for scenic, like to Norway and all of that have all been canceled, the Urbides and all that. But are they going to take, since they have the ships, are they going to add new itineraries and bring them in the water, or are they just going to keep them out of the water? That's what I don't know.
Yeah, that I
Maybe,
don't know. I
yeah.
think it will depend a lot on how long it takes them to get staff back in place for on the ship and then also at the ports. So since they've had to lay off so much staff, they do have to bring all that staff back.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I'm
I
just
think,
wondering if, there's a pent up need. Say, for instance, they have river cruises and say Normandy is totally sold out. Will they put another, one of their boats that's sitting empty and do more there, but maybe not. Yeah, trying to figure it out. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's gonna be probably line to line, it'll be different in what they're able to do. Oh, and then Diane just made a comment about a lot of the staff live in places, other countries that don't have the vaccine abilities yet. So they wouldn't be able to get staffed until they can get people all vaccinated. I would imagine they could have some kind of a plan for that and getting them vaccinated, but I think the staffing is the biggest challenge that they're going to face in the next coming months. Cinda is asking a question if anybody has suggestions for four-bedroom villas on near Kona. It just moved and I lost it. Let's get back into this. She's looking for villas in Kona. Besides someone like Classic, does anybody have anything with hotels offering freestanding villas?
There are no really villas in Hawaii on the Big Island. I mean, you either have a house rental or you have to go to Hualalai, that has their villa rental with homeowners, and Manalani has the bungalow. But other than that, unless you find a property here, like the Four Seasons that house houses, you can do a house rental. I mean, I guess when she's equating a villa to a house,
Yeah.
but it's hard to find them on the beach. If she wants to message me, I
Okay.
have a name of a local person here, a realtor. The Coconut Traveler deals with houses, but there is one realtor over here that has a lot of house rentals and she pays commission. So just
Okay.
have her send me an email.
All right. Thanks, Jan.
Yep.
And David's asking a question, did CDC clear July yet for cruises? I haven't seen that they have fully cleared it, but they are discussing modifying that conditional sale order. So talks are finally happening. Any other questions? I am traveling tomorrow to Punta Cana, so I will give everybody an update next week on how Punta Cana is. As so far going to Punta Cana, you do not have to have a COVID test. It's just a health questionnaire. I'll have to do my test to get back to the United States. But I will let you know how that trip goes. And Eileen is asking, does anyone have a DMC for Alaska works with a moderate 5-star budget?
I mean, Entree Alaska.
Entrees,
Yeah, I think they're the best. I mean, I don't know that there's anything moderate 5-star, but I know they, can do different properties and depending on how much you want.
yeah, so Entree Alaska, or Jay Ireland said All Alaska Tours. And Joanne says still waiting for Crystal Cruise refund, canceled last May. Is anyone else waiting? Crystal is getting through their refunds. I had a conversation with Wendy at Virtuoso today and asked them how the conversations with Virtuoso are going, or with Virtuoso and Crystal are going. And she didn't have any specific information other than Crystal has said that they're working through their refunds, they're working through their commission payments, and they are running a little bit further behind than what they had initially expected. They were planning that by now they would have gotten caught up on that, but they are still working through that. All right, and then conversations around Alaska. Nightly tours is one that is being suggested.
I have a question. Has anybody else been seeing horrendous car rates this summer? I mean, I'm seeing an intermediate cars like booking in June and July for $200 a day. I mean, it seems that any weekly car rental is well over $1,000. I mean, it's unbelievable. I had someone that was going to pick up a car in Bozeman and drop in Jackson Hole, and with the drop charge, the 5-day rental was $10,000.
Wow.
I mean, it's like crazy. I've
Yeah.
never seen anything like it. I mean, an intermediate car is $178 a day plus.
Yeah, I think the car rental companies have upped their rates, taken advantage of the local travel tourism. They're selling out of cars. So we did have some conversation around that a couple of weeks ago about car rentals are sold out all over the place, and then the rates are going up. So we're getting quite a few comments in here that the rates cars have been insane and that they're sold out and having to go pretty far distances to find a car. So yeah, I think everybody is with you, Jan. They're seeing a lot of very high prices, and then just lack of availability. And it said seeing prices around $900 a week for a car in Kauai. All right. Well, thank you all for joining in our call today. Remember, we do have this call every Monday, so feel free to join us every Monday. We do record them, and we are starting to now have them posted on our Teams channel, so you can access any of the recordings from the Teams. Also start to use Teams for chat as well. We will eventually work that Teams chat rather than our Facebook chat. And we also are adding in our vendor contact information to Teams. So as we're hearing the vendors that are returning from furlough or territories are reassigned, we're getting those contacts updated in the Teams Andavo channel. And on the general tab, you'll be able to access the resource guide. It'll be a part up at the top, and then you'll be able to see the resource guide plus contacts for and commission levels. There was a question about IC statements. Ellie, what is the IC statements will be on Air Portal and they'll be sent to you. They will not move over to Teams. They will remain on that dashboard along with the unmatched hotel commissions and your pipeline reports. There have been some enhancements on the pipeline report. So if you've not gone in and looked at it lately, go in and check it. You can now sort the different columns. And so you can also do some filters to search for a traveler or a vendor if there's something specific you are looking for. I will schedule a training as well so that we can go through the filters and how you will learn how to manipulate those and find the information that you're looking for. And David is asking if there's bugs on it, out of sync. Does it sync like once a week or something? It does sync daily, but there are changes that are done as accounting has to do adjustments. So if your invoice comes over and then they have to make an adjustment based on the commission coming in, there could be something that is changed there, but then that would resync. It is pulling the data directly from Aggresso. So David, if you are seeing something, I would encourage you to let me know that specifics. If you've got screenshots or something that you can send over to me, because if it is determined to be a bug, I can report that over to the tech guys. The latest should be your March 20th statement, which would be based on your February for the statements. The statement would be your February activity that was paid on March 20th. No, I'm sorry, because we're now on the 26th of April. So the 20th of April for March activity should be on there. I have not looked this week to see if that is there, but that should be updated. Okay. And then you'll keep an eye on the unmatched hotel commissions. I did send out that notice that we are charging the $25 for non-invoicing of the to collect the commissions. So make sure that you are getting everything invoiced as you can. I know that with some of those GDS, it does pose a challenge. You have to remember to go back in and invoice it. On things that have been canceled and rebooked, talk with Meredith, because each one seems to be a case-by-case basis on which is the best way, whether it's voiding the original, invoicing new, or modifying the original. So if you have any questions on that and how to modify that invoice, some cases it's just easier to contact accounting. They can update the travel dates. If it is the same vendor, the same destination, it just is an update of the travel dates. And also if you're seeing something on the unmatched hotel report and you know that you did invoice it, there are times that things do not match based on what information we had invoiced and the information that the hotel provides with the commission check. So if you know that you invoiced it, you do have a copy of that invoice, you can let accounting know and they will apply that to you and they will not charge you the $25. All right, well, thank you all for joining in. Great conversations today, and we will see you again next week. Take care, everybody.